So moving on to 63 then, we have Tony Hawk's American Wasteland on Windows, which came out in 2006. Now, I think this is the only one I actually played on Windows. The rest I think I played on PlayStation or PlayStation 2. This one, I was, by this time, the master at Tony Hawk's. You know, you played them all and you got all the tricks down, you know all the moves, you've learned all the bits extra from each game, and it was the first time that I'd gone online with Tony Hawk's, which is why I haven't spoken about it in other videos before, because I never went online with my PS2. I didn't even know I could do it, to be honest with you. Yeah, so American Wasteland was the first time I played online, and I dominated online. I've never dominated an online game before in my life. I doubt I ever will again, and I wish I had some footage of it to show you. It's such a shame, because I was so good. I mean, I could do one of those levels in graffiti mode, and the other guy would be tagging up the whole level, but I'd still just be doing my same move, and he would have to wait for me to finish before, you know, even after the clock's gone, you'd have to wait for me to finish, and then bam, everything turns my colour and I win, and I could do that every time. No lies. I can't remember back then what my online name was or anything about it, but I was really good at that game, and it was just another good take on the Tony Hawk's game, because the career mode, you know, it had you just built up this massive skate ranch. That was the sort of story behind it. You just had to collect things that you destroyed. You was destroying shit in Tony Hawk's, but you collect shit that you destroyed and just bring it back to the skate ranch, and no loading times as well. Yay! So yeah, next game then.
Oh right, way to take care of that Hoofleck tool. Man, he sucked in Pearl Harbor. Alright, it's time to take your skating to the next level. I'm about to teach you out of the manual.
So at 62, we have Tropico 4, also on Windows, and it came out in 2011. Now, I played all the Tropico games, and I've loved them all. I swear they span over a long period of time, so I remember playing the first one a long time ago. Can't remember when, but I played it. The reason I chose Tropico 4, there's no others on this list, is because it's the one I played most out of them all, and I spent a lot of hours, even compared to the other games on this list, on Tropico 4. And the reason why is because it was like SimCity on a smaller scale. It was more intimate. You are, you know, you're El Presidente, and it was just a breath of fresh air in that sort of game. I'd never played a game like it, and so I always played the ones that came out after. Tropico 5, a bit of a disappointment. I didn't really like it. I don't know why. I don't know. I think it's because it might have been, don't quote me on this, it's because it was maybe aimed to come out on consoles as well, but that's not the main reason I didn't like it. I just didn't get on with it, and perhaps that might be why. So yeah, Tropico 4 is the best one overall, just because of all the graphics and you know, the way it looks now. It will hold up for a bit as well, I think. So yeah, if you're going to play any, play that one. Right then, 61. You're going to hate me. WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. PS2 2006. Now, it's on this list the same reason the rest of them are on this list, because they're great games, and there's not really that much more to this one than the previous one. Again, it's ridiculous, but they just kept me coming back and kept me getting the game. I don't know, this one they introduced the new control, so that was a big new thing for them. It was kind of hard to get the hang of at first, actually, but it was cool after a bit. So that was the big new thing in the game, and they got rid of Y2J as well. So yeah, I don't know how you feel about that, and that's it really. But I played the shit out of this game with a shitload of people, so that's why it's going on this list. If you don't like it, I don't know what to do about that. Right then, something different. Number 60, Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Curse, Windows 2013. Now, I waited fucking years for this, because as far as I'm concerned, Broken Sword 3 and Broken Sword 4, they don't exist. They are nothing. They are never. 1, 2 and 5 should be the 1, 2, and 3 of Broken Sword series. That's how it goes for me, because they brought it all 3D when everything was going all cool and 3D, and they just wanted to follow that trend and earn some more money. Well, fuck you. No, you broke it. And Broken Sword 1, Broken Sword 2, and Broken Sword 5 are all the best, okay? Broken Sword 5 is so far down the list because I didn't, it wasn't as impacting as the first two. So there you go. But it was amazing to be back with George and Nico, back solving their stories again. And that for me is a winner. It's a bit shit they brought it out in 2 parts, but it was so good to be back to that original cartoon looking Broken Sword again. Period. So let's do number 59 then. Baldur's Gate and the Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, which came out on Windows in 2012. Now, Baldur's Gate's a very special one for me because it took me 3 times to actually get what this fucking game was about and understand how to play it. I borrowed it from my mate the first time and gave it back for about a year, and then borrowed it again and did the same and give it back and didn't play it. I was like, I just don't get it. I can't do it. And the 3rd time I borrowed it again, yes. I don't know why, what made me do it, it just did. I borrowed it again. And it was fucking amazing. I got it. I understood that you go around picking up your party members and you make your own dude. But the only thing that pissed me off about the game is if you don't really make your dude into a fighter, and I like mages, then it's difficult, man. It's really difficult. But that concept, that whole Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms thing, wow, that blew me away. That really blew me away. That smashes, a lot of other games on every other format, just because it introduced me to a world of Forgotten Realms, basically Dungeons & Dragons world. It was crazy, all this turn-based and pausing. I'd never done that before. Enjoyable stuff. Go and play it if you haven't tried it, because it's only released in 2012. It kind of holds up. It doesn't really look that much enhanced, but go try it if you fancy it. Next. Okay, so we're going to do 58, and I think you're going to like me a little bit less, because it's WWE SmackDown Shut Your Mouth on the PS2 that came out in 2002. Now, 2002 was a brilliant year for games, as I'm seeing by going through this list, actually. It was an awesome year for games. But sticking to wrestling, let's talk about it. The reason this game stands out in my mind is because it was one of the early ones, and they were so much more hardcore than they are now, if you know what I mean. They've gone a lot more, traditionally the sports games, they turn into simulated sports games, which is what wrestling is kind of now, but back then it was so hardcore. Literally, you could climb on the fist and jump off that, set up the ladders and the tables in and outside the ring, and transition from both, fight people on the subway and in the street and stuff like that. It was pretty fucking crazy. And it was back in the day where you could still make women wrestlers and things like that. So yeah, that's why these games, the older ones, probably go a bit higher than the newer ones, I think. So yeah, if you're looking to, play these games, I'd start off with the old ones first, because then you'll see what it really is about. And because all my friends were into it at the time, everyone had this game. We was all smashing each other all the time. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. Good times. I don't think it's the last ones, but don't like me. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. So getting through it then, number 57, Just Cause 2, PS3, 2010. One of those games that stands out in my mind because it was just one of those mental games that I've never really played before. It was a little bit like that Mercenaries game, I don't know if you remember that, but it was just like that, but vamped up to 11. It was so good. It introduced all the grappling hook and the parachuting. I've never seen that in a game before. And the fact that you could stunt jump on any vehicle. I can't remember what it was called. You just go into stunt mode, basically. You could just stand on the top of any vehicle, which was fucking awesome. And I've never seen it. Shoot people, grapple people, get yourself onto a motorbike from far away, drag people along the floor. It introduced me to a lot of new things in gameplay that I'd never seen done before. and that's why it goes higher than Just Cause 3. Because I feel that there's only a couple of things in Just Cause 3 that were added to Just Cause 2. Blow up all the red shit was the, you know, basic build of them both, and the story was shit in them both. So, yeah. Anyway, much love for Just Cause.
Excellent. Food for the recruits. Feed young men.
Now, 56. Sensible Soccer on the Mega Drive in 1992. Now, this game is, again, one of those games on the Mega Drive. I never had a Mega Drive. I got to borrow one of my friends who used to lend it to me quite often, actually. I was very fortunate of that. And this is one of the games I used to borrow. And it was one of those games that introduced me to customization in games. The fact that you could alter every single team in this was crazy. I can't remember some of the names they had in there, but they were really funny because they didn't have endorsements by FIFA or anything like that. So yeah, you had some really funny names in there. But yeah, I played it for ages and ages and ages, simply because you could just customize the little bits and have little ginger people, little black-haired people. It was crazy. It stumped me. I'd never seen it before. Mega Drive. So yeah, we're going back a bit. So it was ahead of its time in that sense, and that's why I like it so much. It was like an early PES, I guess. So yeah, moving on to the next game. So yeah, sticking with the football theme, my number 55 is actually FIFA 09 on the DS that came out in 2008. Now, I've never really been a FIFA fan. There was a couple I really liked, but this one I liked because you could put your own chant in the game and proper wind up your mate, because your DS would play it at full volume every time you scored or whenever you done something pretty good in the game. It would just blurt out this chant that you made, and sometimes you'd forget that you made the chant and then it'd come out and it'd make you laugh. The reason I'm laughing so much is because the one I made is so fucking funny. I don't want to say it out here, no. But yeah, it was so fucking funny. It was brilliant. And I used to play this again with my mate Wayne. We played a lot of games together, and it was one of my first sort of DS experiences as well. I got it when it first come out, the DS, and this was one of my only games on there actually, because I didn't have a lot of money at the time, and expensive games, you know how it is, you can't have them all. So yeah, this is one of them, and I'm glad I got it. It was so good. So anyway, moving on. So then at 54, we've got a bit of a sports theme going here. It's NHL 08 on the PS2 in 2007. Now, one of the reasons I love it, again, customization. You can make your own dudes, your own team, you know, your own players and that. And the commentators actually said their names. I'd never heard that before, so that was a kind of a new thing for me. I think they might have done it in earlier versions of the game, and I might have heard it in 2007 and 6, but I didn't play those games as much, and we used to play 6 players, you know, and every person would have a person on the team. That was so fun. So and you know, it was probably, and it was different, you know, it was a different kind of sports game. It wasn't your standard everyone's playing FIFA, everyone's playing COD sort of thing. This was just a little bit different, you know, so it was cool, and I was well proud to have everyone around to play this at my house. So yeah, that's why this goes on this list and no other reason. Sadly, that's all we got time for in this video, so I'll see you in the next one.